The psychology of psychopaths interests me, and it should interest everyone, because it's not something to fear, like, oh, a psychopath, those are the bad killers. It's just nature, nurture, and the fruition of that when there is so much trauma involved, and when there's also like generational trauma. Like, everything is an energy. So even when you're in your mother's womb, if she's living a chaotic life, if she's getting like beat by her spouse, and while the baby's in the womb, you don't think that baby feels that energetically? All of the hormones that course through that woman's body, that mother's body. I don't know chemistry of the body yet, but I know energy. It affects the child, okay? So even if they're then born, and let's say they're adopted, and they go into this actual completely loving house, complete. let's just say, pretend. Well, they still have to deal with their nervous system and regulating it and trying to understand, like, why do I feel so icky? Well, it's because when you're in the womb, you had trauma. And then, like, your DNA lineage, the people before you were even born, you're still energetically connected to that bloodline and that DNA. So that's why, or how, generational trauma exists, because it's an energy. And so anyone that wants to care about bettering themselves or like advancing, psychologically or spiritually, should very much care about psychopaths and sociopaths, which I haven't even figured out. I don't know if I want to label these things so much. We are labeling so much that it ends up, let's say you have a bunch of balls that are spilled on the floor, okay? They're all different colors. Now you have some hampers with assigned colors. Let's say red, blue, yellow. Now all these balls are scattered on the floor. We got pink ones, we got violet ones, we've got technicolor ones, we've got rainbow ones, we've got sage green ones, we've got sunshine colored ones. Okay, so now I need to sort these out, but there's only 3 bins, 3 colors. So what are you going to do with the oddballs? What are you going to do with them? You're going to fit them in. You're going to then put them in one of the hampers you think is the closest match, but it's not. And so then what I think is that that's how we limit our understanding of things, because we box it in and try to understand it so good that it's like, where are the nuances? And that's what I think is a miss. Oh, there's a robin. I love that robin. He has such a strong personality. He's tilting his head. Oh, I think he just pooped on the rock that he's sitting on. Oh, I love him. Okay, so it sort of gives some people a pass, because now we kind of have all these psychopaths walking around among us. They're broken individuals who operate in their shadow and they excuse themselves for doing bad things to people, because in their twisted logic, they twist their logic somehow. It's like they deny the truth in order to believe the narrative, believe their own reality. But then the ones that are murderers get caught, and then we think, ooh, bad, scary. Yeah, well, there's psychopaths everywhere. I used to, like, when I was really interested in this in the beginning, I think I read like a fact that like I'm not going to remember now, 1 in however many people are psychopaths. Lots of people are, because we need to, the definition of it, we need to let it be more flexible. Like narcissist, that's something that we are now labeling a lot of people. But like narcissism and psychopathy are tag team, you know, because narcissism is when you shut off your compassion for others because you've been hurt so much that then it's easier just to only focus on yourself. It's a protection mechanism. And then also, it's like, it's become sort of like nefarious and vindictive because the narcissist might remember a past trauma associating with, for instance, their mother. And then now they see motherly women or just women as reminding them of their mother and all the bad that she did. And so then they have this projected hatred for all women or all mothers, even though it's just that was how they were able to cope, or it's the pathways, the neural pathways that were built, this association, because everything really in our life here, in our consciousness is association. Like, that's how we learn. That's how we can survive. Like, if you are, you know, early humans who, hunter-gatherers, go out in the wild and you encounter a tiger or a lion, fear sets in. It's intrinsic. We are wired to see a threat, and then we associate. If something bad happened, like let's say the tiger caught us or lion got a hold of our foot, now all lions are bad. You know what I mean? Because it's like you had that trauma with one lion or tiger, whatever. But the truth is that how many fucking tigers and lions are there? And they're not all going to eat your foot. But it's like, that's just how we're wired to associate, because that's it's a survival tactic. And then if something happens to where our instincts have to kick in, it's imprinted on our being, that trigger. Do I even make sense? Do I even make sense? I wish that psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists, I wish people could understand and have more compassion for where it comes from. Instead of just like thinking that they're evil people. I'm not giving a pass either, but listen, not all psychopaths are murderers, like Ted Bundy and all these, you know, and Jeffrey Dahmer and the like. So it's not responsible for us as fellow humans to just think psychopaths are very bad and only they're the ones who are killers. No, bitch. The traumatized CEO in your company could very well be a psychopath, but he's really nice to you and has a lot of charisma. And you actually probably maybe like him. You probably see some darkness coming out of him if you're aware. But like, in order to protect ourselves better, it might be better to realize what is closer around us. And not for fear, but for understanding. Because how can you fear something you understand? You don't. Like, I mean, you still can. But if you have a zoomed out grasp of how something works, what's there to be like fearful of?